This was the one thing that sort of bugged me when I got married to my husband a couple of years ago. To join our finances or not to join our finances. It's tricky, and I think it differs from couple to couple. I remember asking around for opinions from friends and family members whom had been married for a while, and all of them had different preferences on how they would handle their finances as a couple. If you're in a serious relationship right now and in the midst of thinking about this step, let me enlighten you with some research I found and share with you some of my experiences and preferences as well in today's video. Should you join your finances with your partner? Let's talk about it. When it comes to managing your finances as a couple, the choice is yours. Typically, there are 4 primary approaches you can take. We will be exploring more details about each method below, but keep in mind that it's essential to carefully consider which option aligns best with your circumstances. It took my husband and I some time to decide what was best for us too. Number 1, keeping your money separate. So if you guys don't have a joint account, you'll each keep your money separate. But don't worry, there are still ways to handle things smoothly. This is what you can do. Firstly, you can plan and communicate regularly. This is important to know what's going in and out. And then you can decide how to split the bill. It could be 50-50 or another way, but the both of you need to be on the same page on how you split the responsibility. And then you've always got to think about your partner when spending. Remember that you're sharing the responsibility, so make sure you don't spend too much or else your partner will have to cover your share as well. Number 2, sharing everything in a joint account. For this, you can combine both your incomes and use it for all your expenses, like paying for your rent, groceries, your mortgage, and bills. This will no doubt make budgeting a whole lot easier, but you'll definitely need a joint account to make this happen. So you both have full control over the money and also see what the other person is spending on. Here are some ways to ensure that this method is workable for you. Make sure you have the same spending patterns, habits, and behaviors, or else it will cause pretty much fights. Agree on a spending threshold. If you want to pay for something more expensive than the threshold, you'll both need to be in agreement of it. And for the third method, dividing it up into mine, yours, and ours. When you're sharing responsibilities for finances, you'll have to compromise. What you can do is open a joint account to take care of the bills and have your individual accounts to pay for the things you personally want. This will make budgeting easier while still being able to be independent and private. Here are a few things to consider when you're both deciding on how to share the responsibility. Decide which bills to pay from the joint account. Settle on a contribution to pay into the joint account each month. It could be 50-50 or related to the size of your income. Consider your spending patterns, habits, and behaviors and agree on what's acceptable to the both of you so you can avoid disagreements and arguments over money. And finally, the fourth method. The main earner will pay the partner an allowance. If in the case that one of you isn't earning or one is earning less than the other, you both can have a separate account and have the partner give them an allowance. Regular transfers to their partner's account can be set up, and together you can figure out if those transfers cover household expenses and fund money or if it's just for personal spending. It's all about what works best for the both of you. Before deciding to take this route, discuss some of these things. First, you gotta make sure you are both comfortable with it. You do not see the allowances as a favor if one partner is looking after the kids or carer. Make sure to discuss all the different expenses that your allowance needs to cover and double check that the amount you're setting aside each month or week is sufficient. After some trial and error trying to figure out what method works best for my husband and I, we have finally settled for the third one, which was to divide it up into mine, yours, and ours. As both of us are making an income at the moment, we find it easier to have a set amount that both of us put into the joint account monthly, which will then go to household expenses and also our bills. Any other purchases will come out of our personal accounts, which makes sorting our finances simple. Our everyday budgeting is tracked using the WeFire app. What I've done is manually link my husband's cards and mine in the app like this and label it so we can keep track of the expenses going in and out. After linking all our accounts, budgeting became so much clearer and easier for us because we were able to set categories for our family budget to help us keep on track of our spending as well. Sharing an account is a very important decision, so it's wise to ease into it before fully committing to it. What you can do in the beginning is opening a joint account with no overdraft option, and you both can start by chipping in a small amount each month. Use the funds to split the responsibility for a couple of household bills and see how it goes. After a few months, sit down together and evaluate how things are working out. If it's going smoothly, you can consider increasing your contribution and sharing more responsibilities. If you have substantial savings, you might also think about opening a joint savings account. And with this setup, both parties must agree before any withdrawals are made. I hope this gave you a better idea of the ways you can navigate your finances together as a couple. This is no one-size-fits-all kind of situation, so take your time on this and decide on the best route to take. If you found this information helpful, do give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more Save Your Penny tips.